So this was a video, it's a new kind of thing that I'm trying out. And it's just these sparring positions where I'm just trying to give a very quick take on what the dynamics of the position are, to do two things. One, to show like people in the program, be like, oh, this is something really cool and fun, constructive you can do, but also to, put it out there in the world of what the dojo is all about. So let's give it a quick little watch and we'll see. I have not seen the edits, okay? I have not seen the edits. Here we go. Oh, Kraai. Start again. Start again, Kraai. Perhaps sound necessary.
This is dojo in-game sparring position number 13. And usually this is for more advanced players around 17, 18, 1900. Okay, and I just want to say a couple words about the dynamics in this position. This is Botvinnik Alekhine, a very famous game from 1938. Botvinnik won this game, but for the sparring, there's a couple very important things to see about the position that will help you a lot if you understand them. It will help you for other kinds of positions. So I think the best way to think about this position is a dance of three pieces, right? Each side has a king, a knight, and a rook. And the job is to think about the quality of those pieces. Now, Black's last move was f6. Makes sense. He needs to dominate the knight to prevent the knight from coming in. So one of the first things that White has to understand is, oh, my knight needs to get fixed. Then we can also say, oh, the king needs to get fixed. Okay, so White really has two poor pieces. Now, even though White has two poor pieces, you could argue that White is winning. And the reason for that is that this rook is crushing all three of Black's pieces. It's preventing the king from coming out. It's much more active than this rook, preventing...
Sounds like I'm coming out of a metal tank. Okay, we won't do it anymore. I just thought it would be fun and interesting. Jeez, Melise. Okay, let's go back to the front. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more correctamundo over here. Gotta make it bigger. See, and DM Hokie, it's all his fault because he never... Dude, how am I supposed to... how am I supposed to do the supposed to when you don't give me no space? You don't give me none of that space. Maybe if I make this, it's so hard with DM Hokie, the struggles that he puts me through. Okay, so let's start. We got a big bunch of graduates for today and tomorrow. We have 31, which is a lot. That is a lot of graduates. Hi, Mitch Fabian. Hi, Cross Online. So big amount. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring this back over here. I go YouTube. I will be trying to look at comments from both YouTube and Twitch. Okay. So we got, I was going to say so it seems like maybe this show will be shorter than the top end tomorrow. At least that's what it optically kind of looks like right now. Okay, first up is Thomas. Thomas says, like the structure and guidance on what books and tasks to focus on, miss some insight in the order of the tasks together with how to apply the acquired knowledge into my games. Great site and community. Yeah, we are working on this order thing. I put out there to the other senseis and the tech people, I was like, here's an algorithm. We'll give you a beautiful order. And they were kind of like, Kraai, we don't know what you're saying. And I'm like, listen close. Let me tell you exactly what I'm saying. So I just got to push that through. And I pushed that through. And honestly, it's not quite as I described it. We have so many dojo projects going on at the moment. I would say we have too much. We have too many things going on. And so it's like there's a lot of things that are just not getting done. It'd be better if we just were like, this is what we're doing, and then move on to the next one. Okay, and now in terms of how to apply the acquired knowledge, there's a variety of answers I could give that question, but for right now, probably best for me to say, hopefully I can say something insightful when we take a look at your business over here. So, joined in February. Now, the first thing that I'm noticing here, Thomas, first I'm going to give you a follow here, is that your heat map just started now and not before, which suggests that you started earlier in the year and then just now started doing the work, maybe inspired because of the heat map. In any case, the heat map looks great, and it's really cool when we can see, some work and then some good progress happening pretty quickly here. So that all looks great. We'd want you to do some more tactics tests. Looks like you had a rough time with the first checkmate test. Okay, but no, all in all, this kind of putting you about where you are. Now we're going to go look at some of your activity. And you've done a bunch of tactics, which is good. Everyone's first chess workbook, great. I have a feeling you're probably not done with that yet. Fine. I would say that and playing games, annotating them, that is going to be your main ticket to the next cohort. Okay, let's see. First of all, clubs. Oh, European, just Danish. Okay. Sometimes these people's English is so good, I'm like, dang, must be a native speaker. No, that's just people in Denmark. The Clock Goblin says, expansion beyond ability to maintain infrastructure is a big cause of organizational collapse. All right, Dojo, you heard it. You heard it. That was some big words, but true words. All right, let's see, we got some games from Thomas. We got one. And this is Dayarik Apprentice. First, I'm going to just check the time. And the first thing we want to say, I'm going to just show the time graph here, is that your time usage, fantastic, okay? So already right there, we want to really say that often at this level, we see people moving too fast. Their minds aren't able to sink into the position. And you did that. At least that part of it looks correct. All right, now we're going to go game review. No repertoire yet for white or black. Fine. 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 Poor. Moving the same piece twice comes with a threat on the next move. Okay, so this is an important situation because you're going to see this one again. And here you make a mistake with bishop e6. And you write, in doubt here if this was the correct play, but decide to block with the light square bishop. But miss the fact that I will lose a pawn. Okay, good. So first things first, understanding when you're losing a pawn is going to be the biggest thing in terms of you progressing to the next level, i.e. until 1000, people are hanging stuff, and that's where their games are decided. Okay. Next thing is, I'm really happy you said that moving the same piece twice. It's very controversial what he did, and after castles, I would say, at a higher level, you're much better. We would say we'd already like black a lot here. But here, we just want you to see that you are developing, and you're not afraid of this kind of thing. One of this is a little advanced cry, so I'm a little mad at you bringing it up. But something I want to bring up is the beginning of the game, the rooks aren't that important. Like now, you can see these guys are chumps. But now your minors are going to be uncontested, and they're really going to be flying out of the gates here. So black is significantly better. Okay? In any case, we don't want to give up a pawn. That's the most important message. Now I think white loses another tempo. Knight g5 should definitely take the bishop on c5, right? For sure. Okay, good. Poor. So why? Because the knight's not central there. So what is correct? Castles. So we forced him back kind of where he wanted to go. You say it's more solid in this area. Now, one of the things I want you to see about castle short is while it's true that you have less pawns in front of your king, it's a really cool thing that the rook is doing something on the f-file. Okay, in spirit, I like it. I think they again should, well, okay, knight h4, good move. And now we're in a little trouble. And then we fall to this fork. Right. Okay. So again, I want to stress that your path to success is going to be to avoid things like that. Bishop takes. Now, what I want you to see about the hard part about bishop takes is now you are developing this rook. H5, rook f5, reasonable move. H4, G3, I don't know. I definitely don't want you to take it because now his knight becomes active. Maybe maybe knight e7 now. Okay. Poor move. Well, I mean, he's still winning, and now he needs to play queen f2 to control this square. And now rook f8. Okay, so he's doing great. Good move, c3. Good move. Now you say miss the fork on e4, but the fork... Okay, now, first of all, I want to make a couple qualifiers here. So the guy needs to play king g2 to get out of dodge here. c3, on the face of it, is a clever move to stop your knight. But now you got knight e7, and notice this rook doesn't have any place to go. If it moves somewhere, we're going to then get the discovery. Okay. Which you did. Great. Oh, and he honestly, and now he needs to just give it up. He needs to give it up. But bam, you got him. Now we are on top. Thank you very much. He trades. We say, you want to trade when you're behind? We say, all right, thank you very much. Bring the king in. Very good. Let's trade it again. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, chess is an easy game sometimes. Now, I want to stress one thing just to make your life a little easier here. Don't give him the pawn. Don't give him this pawn. Just play king f5. Okay, good game. Whew, good game. So, we're going to go back and we're going to say, Thomas, you're on the path, buddy. You're on the path. And the most important thing for you to do right now, I think, is to finish that book, Everyone's First Chess Workbook, and to do some more games analysis. We have this thing in there called blunder games, and that just means playing some quicker games at like 15 minutes and just checking who blundered what. Because at the level you're playing, your opponents are also going to blunder. And just being hyper aware of the fact that blunders are happening will help you see them. Okay, here we go. So, next up is rebus. Ablative for things, plural. As in de rebus, concerning the things. So, the dojo has been great so far. I like the structure and the tracking and seeing my progress on the heat map. Heat map, dude, we just came up with that just recently. I know that I should be playing more and studying less, but I'm finding that starting a game triggers a lot of anxiety, and it takes a huge mental effort to hit the play button. I read the long Discord thread in The Mental Game by Matthew Canada, and that's helpful for knowing that I'm not the only one. But it's concerning that he's not in the dojo anymore. It would be great to hear some success stories of players that have overcome this and what they did to get there. Okay. And Jesse, what's up with this boomer GM shtick? I'm early Gen X, so that makes you solidly Gen X. I know it's no fun being in the generation that everyone ignores, but that's why we need people like you to get out there and represent for our age cohort. Yeah. So I didn't come up with the boomer GM thing. That was given to me, and I just kind of ran with it. And the thing about it, though, about our generation is, first of all, we're ignored. So the millennials, do they really know that Gen X exists? No. For them, anyone who comes of age without the computer is a boomer, right? And I came of age without the computer, so then you see me streaming and stuff, and it's not pretty. It's all over the place. Kostya yells at me all the time, you know. And so that's how I got the boomer GM thing going on. And so I just kind of ran with it, you know, and someone gives you an insulting name and you just kind of go with it. Of course, I am definitely Gen X. And the boomers, one of the funny things too about that is, you know, the boomers have been, well, you know, first of all, the millennials were the ones that came up with that word boomer as a derogatory, and we got to give them credit for it. Because for us, like, we called them the baby boomers, but that wasn't nearly as derogatory as it needed to be. And, and like, yeah, we've been fighting those people for a long time, man. And they're just clinging on to power, dude. You know, we're going to see this election. Maybe we're still going to get our last boomer president. Who knows, dude? But I'm done with the boomers, dude. I'm done with these boomers. Doc Dave is a boomer. All right, here we go. Boom. Fighting them forever. Rebus, approaching 60, and in keeping with the saying, the best time to X was YY years ago, the second best time is now. He's digging into chess. This is great. Now, I just want to give, whoa, Kraai. You're on the wrong, you guys got to tell me when I'm in the wrong business. Now, I want to share. See, this is no good. DM Hokey, this is your fault. You need to give me more space, Baus. Because, look at this. This is amazing, right? This is amazing. Beautiful heat map. Absolutely fantastic, you know? And I think regardless of your age, if you are, especially in the under 1,000 cohort, and you work every day like this, you are going to progress. That's just the way it's going to be. So this is beautiful. And let's click around a little bit. We got some tactics tests being done. That looks like it's you're above your level tactics, so that's good to know. Clubs. Habits bras. For anyone using them on Hamilton's habits as part of their chess improvement plan. I have to admit, I didn't even know about that. We know who the one member is, though, buddy. That's you. So you started this club, so that's pretty good. I'm in that 50 plus one. Okay. Now, I don't know anything about the habits. I know a little bit about the chess steps, and I will do this one caution. It's common for people to become distracted by the different methods, right? So here, essentially, you have three methods. You got the dojo, chess steps, and now habits. Maybe they're all great, but it's, I think, good to choose one. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you to choose the dojo because I think the dojo's best. But the bigger point is, if you focus on one, it's going to free your mind to do the actual work, because otherwise you're going to be thinking like, oh, maybe this is better than this, you know, that kind of thing. All right, here we go. Activity. And there it is, this non-dojo. He's been doing the chess steps, the building habits, libros de ajedrez en español and in Portuguese. That's just cool. Maybe you're learning those languages too. So that's kind of cool. Okay, but otherwise this looks good. Let's see if we get a game here. Oh, we got loads. Rebus nebus. Let's see. First, oh, now rebus. We're going to yell at you just a touch here. Now, the good news is you did think longer than your opponent. Your opponent treated this really as a 10-0 game. I hope you beat him. I hope you beat. Now, for 25 moves, so use half your time. That's really on the edge. That's okay. We're not going to yell at you too much because you do need some time in a 30-minute game. But as we see every time especially the under 1,000 show, when you play online against distracted people, they are not going to use their time. So hopefully we are going to nail them bueno. Okay, let's do this. And now we're going to go over here. We're going to go game review. Please remind me if I forget to change scenes here. Okay. So a lot of variations below are from the Tuesday under 1,000 game review. Not things that I saw on my own. The Tuesday game. Oh, okay. So there's a group called the Tuesday under 1,000 game review. I didn't even know about that. That's great. Everyone's doing fine. Weird. Preparing B6 doesn't develop. Okay, good. I like that you weren't responding to it. B5. Now, here we definitely don't want B3. However, I think we should really say that bishop D5 is a very strong move. And that's where it needed to be. The point is, first of all, that it comes with a threat. You're threatening to take this pawn now because this is a pin. But more importantly, the bishop is just active on on D5. Okay, knight F6. Okay, notice now the bishop on E2 is passive. Okay. Loss of time. Okay. Okay. And knight D5 is a little frisky, but maybe you can play it this way. First thing I want to say, Rebus, that I'm very happy with your play here is that you defaulted to development, right? Like this guy's just moving quickly and you kind of missed a chance with bishop D5, but every move of yours you are developing and that will bring success. It's also not hard to learn. Rebus Knebus. Like an evil Knievel, okay. Bishop G5, knight G5, knight E7, very frisky position. Bishop F3, okay, good, very interesting. H6, knight E4. Okay, and now he gets frisky and takes this pawn. By the way, I think knight E4 is correct. 94 is correct, but you needed to see a move here, namely knight takes C5, which I think is winning, or at least a very pleasant position. Now we're hitting the knight, and you might say, oh, well, the queen's hitting the knight. But now we go pop, and it's all over because baby blue over here. All right. Okay. So, mistake, knight D5. Another way, actually, you could punish him here is you could play C4. The point being here, you still are nailing him with this pin. So, just quickly, when your opponent doesn't develop their pieces, that's when we should be looking for some kind of tactic to mess with them. Okay, rook A D1, bishop. C4, now you do it. You take with the pawn. I don't know, I think the knight is pretty powerful, honestly. F5. Okay. Notice that he's not developing, and here you could have won a piece with C4. Yeah, and you saw it in the postmortem. Good. As we said in the first graduation, this is the kind of thing you need to see, the basics. It's not going to be that hard. Okay, I like that you're developing. C4 still. Now, F4 in principle is a bad move because the knight was controlled by that pawn. And here you go back, but look, how much more active is it here? A lot more active. Okay. Knight F6, blunder. Blunder. So one of the interesting things is here, he has to be careful. And I think the only, well, I don't know, maybe there's more than one move, but this move would save him. This move, I think he's already in big trouble, see, because we're threatening pap and pap. So, it's already gone bad. It's already gone bad. Yeah. I'm just thinking if there's no, I think he's in legitimate trouble here. Maybe a good variation to see is queen c7, pap, and then pop. Now Wiedersehen, goodbye. Boom. You could take him with a rook too. I'd prefer with the rook, honestly, because then we have our rook on the 7th. But bishop b7, you're definitely winning. He blunders again, and now you have everything. So, Rebus, that was great, dude. And, one of the cool things is even though you missed some stuff, one thing I liked was every move you were bringing your people in. So even though this was like unnecessary, it's like, oh, he's doing something. He's got a tactical idea. Your opponent's not using their time. Of course, they're not going to see it, right? George asks, what about rook takes b1 does not work? It's check, mouse. It's check. So here, check to the miserable king. That's why it doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. Well done. And let's move on. Next up, we have Tristan. Tristan said, oh, Kraai, go back. You change the scene. Tristan says, started back from the bottom. Feeling pretty good about all these basics. Loved everyone's chess workbook and time to work on some new stuff. What does that mean, Tristan? That you graduated and then went back down? No, Tristan. Okay. Co-founder of the Phoenix Chess Club. Okay, this one I'm not going to mark. I'm not going to cover. I think it's cool, kind of interesting that you went and started from the bottom. But dude, you're 1509. Yeah. But I want to say, beautiful heat map. Yeah, you're 1509, boss. I haven't been to Phoenix in a long time. There used to be a pretty cool chess scene there. I was kind of, Robbie Adamson was 1 year older than me. I feel like he's the head of Arizona chess. I don't know if that's true. Okay, so let's pass and go to finalist. And what does finalist say? Not much. Has graduated. Let's give him a follow. Started this year, January, but just started using the heat map. Hasn't really done much. Let's look. Clubs, nothing. Activity, we got a little bit of endgame going on and some tactics. Do we got games? No games. So finalist, mouse. Let's see some more. Let's see some more of what's going on. Hopefully we'll be able to graduate soon. Next up, we have Q Gambetto. Q Gambetto has also done very little work. Let's see what's going on over here. We'll give them a follow. This person started very recently, has got 3 days over here. And let's just look over here. No tactics tests or anything. Clubs, nothing. Activity. So maybe some games. No. So Q Gambetto, like the last person. You just started though, so this is totally understandable. I'd say one of the biggest challenges for people starting the dojo or any kind of chess improvement is to analyze one of their games. It's a big first step, and it requires a little bit of courage. It's a little difficult. You might feel at a loss when you're doing it at first too. But trust me, it is well worth it, both as an activity in itself and for the chess improvement that you will see with it. Okay, next up we have Shamant. Shamant has a beautiful heat map over here, graduated numerous times, got this delicious rising graph, and hasn't really done much of the tactics stuff. So we want to see more than that, and we want to see We want to see Shamant have a tactics rating that's above 700. No clubs, activity. We got some good activity. Mostly tactics. Let's give it a click. Everyone's first chess workbook is the main thing, which is, of course, correct. All right, games. Nothing. Shamant. Now, I got to say, I'm a little bit thankful because there's so many people in this week's graduation ceremonies that I'm a little bit like, whew, yeah, I can't do that much. I'll run out of words, dude. I'll run out of words. Next up, we have Sarangi String. Let's see what's going on over here. So, UK-based Indian classical musician, mathematics and an endless love for the game of chess. Okay, it looks like Sarangi started recently, has graduated, very recent here to the program. Not like a month, but hasn't done too much. Let's see clubs. Okay. So there's an English club too. You could join. It's kind of cool. Maybe you could do some work with some people there. Okay, just a little bit. Just a little bit has happened. No rows. Making my life a little easier. Okay, boom. Posture check. Yeah, I feel like my posture's kind of bad recently. I think it's always been bad, but now that I'm an older dude, boomer GM, need to work on that posture. Lacrios says, 5th graduation at the dojo. I liked How to Beat Your Dad at Chess, but I would have preferred something akin to everyone's first workbook where I'm tested and given feedback immediately on each topic. Now, here's an interesting thing. I have a lot of sympathy for that. And basically what he's saying is, in everyone's first chess workbook, it's like a bunch of puzzles, and you got to kind of test yourself. Dojo 2.0, we took How to Beat Your Dad at Chess out. And then there were so many people who were like, oh, dude, we love that book. Why did you take that one out that we brought it back? So my bigger thing would be whether we end up liking the book or not, that I do like the format of everyone's first chess book workbook where you get puzzles, to, as you say, confirm what you're doing. Okay. I'm very excited for our first book of Morphe, which looks like a great introduction to principal chess. Hopefully, it scratches the itch for non-tactics reading that I've had for a while. I'm still missing most basic tactics in most of my blunder games, but I've started to notice this during the game rather than being told by Stockfish later. Great. Now, one of the cool things I think about graduating to the, where you are and then 1000 plus is the chess literature just gets more interesting. And the basics of it, right, or is that until you get to a certain level, it's not going to make sense to go over like super deep moves until you got a board visualization engine in your mind that can see the basics, right? So really cool. And there's a part of me in the program that I want people in that under 900 to have some kind of chess exposure to chess culture, bigger chess ideas. So it's cool that you had that itch. And really what's happened now is you've earned the right to read a book of a little bit of a higher level. So, Lacris is here with us. And here we go. Boom. Oh, my word. Look at that. Look at that heat map, my friend. Oh, Lacris is flying, dude. Heat map like every day. Sometimes it's just a little bit, like 50 minutes or still, even these small ones are still pretty good, man. Okay, this is great. I hear dojo points. Oh, that's cool. All right, right, let's keep it with hours worked. All right, so tactics test, somehow Lacrios is not bringing it. We don't know why. But the other one, the checkmate tests look great. I have a feeling he's in the Italy club. Yep, there you go. Then we got the activity. A lot. We're going to try to see the... so 32 hours to make this graduation. Beautiful distribution here. Beautiful distribution. Okay, let's see a game or two. This was played relatively recently. So let's click. And let's see first the time. Oh yeah, here we go. This is very typical, my friends. We see this every week. So Lacrios is playing white, and what's going on? He's playing somebody that ain't thinking, man. This person, 30 plus 30, they were moving like 10 seconds a move. So why were they doing 30 plus 30? All I know is I hope Lacrios punished this fool. That's all I really know. Okay, game review. He mitched it, yeah. So, boom, boom. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Okay. By the way, you are playing deep theory here, and how are you doing it? You're just playing principled moves, so that's great. You know, one thing actually this game provokes in my mind is usually we don't see closed openings, D4 openings, and then definitely not a King's Indian in the under 1,000 levels. This Knight C6 move, I can tell you why they do it. So the right move is E5, but they feel fear over losing that pawn. So they want to play Knight C6 and then E5, but then you correctly point to the problem, D5. Now, this is still interesting position, Knight B8, good. Okay, good. Basically, if you just develop, you're going to be okay. C takes, C takes. I would have preferred E takes, but this move is fine. Okay. I would have preferred Rook C1 just to develop. A little frisky. Good. Good. You could play Queen B3 too. Oh, good. You're playing just good chess. Just good chess. Mistake, Bishop D6. Very nice. Is this person thinking? No, they're not thinking. Here I thought I'd be better with or without the trade. The trade opens up the line for the rook, while not trading would have allowed the knight. Nice outpost on D6. Okay, good. Boom, boom, good. Simple chess, okay. Good move. Oh, you're playing great chess here. Great. Whoa, that I don't like. That I don't like. Okay. Now, have we created a situation that's maybe a little bit spooky? Maybe. Let's take a look. All right, so first let's go back here. Bishop C4, and then the dude played Knight G5. Now, what ends up happening here is this Bishop E5 turns out to be very annoying. And your move gives me the heebie-jeebies. With King F1. But it's maybe already true that we have misplayed our hand a little bit here. So let's think about it for a moment. Well, you know, it's kind of, I think a basic move here could be Queen C1 to get him off this. Now, I want to stress, I didn't appreciate either how strong Bishop E5 was going to be. It's kind of surprising because normally G3 will just knock him back, but then he's got Knight F3, and then we're just not happy with our lives. Now, for me, I think I would rather take this bishop than allow queen h2. I don't want to, no, no, no. No, 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 lo, allow. So the other problem, of course, is here, here, and then if we go here, he's got this intermezzo, which maybe we should just accept. Just be like, Baus, it didn't go well. And then king h1, he's got queen h6. Which is scary, right? So either bishop e5 or this thing. This isn't it, though, because we're letting that lady in. And like they say, it's like a vampire at the wedding, you know. Queen g4, and now dude blows it fully with queen f4. Okay. So the question then becomes, how, if at all, can black keep the attack going? It would surprise me if he can't keep the attack going, but maybe not so easy. Yeah. Now, one thing that's interesting is whether we say black's winning or not, it is going to require some good creativity from black in this position to actually hurt us. Now, it's very difficult, honestly. So I want to say, remember I said king f1, no way? Remember I said that? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe you are holding it together. It's very surprising to me, honestly. It feels like you don't deserve to hold it together here, but I'm not seeing a way to crack you here. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing a way for black to do it. That isn't it, though, because now you just trade queens, but then you did this one. Yeah. It's fine. You did fine, and now he resigns. So queen f4 was definitely a blunder. And we'll just say, let's move 25. That guy didn't think at all when playing queen f4. So when we just want to stress something, if I was playing this position, even a 30-minute game, oh, dude, I'm going to think for a long time here. And if I find nothing else, I guess I'm going to play h6. Am I thrilled with it? No. But, white's king is fundamentally still on the hunt here. Another idea would be rook f4, queen takes, check, here, here. That's interesting and scary. I think we're just at the beginning of this drama, though. So, for example, king d3, queen takes, bishop takes, and now this guy's coming in, Still, maybe it's not over. King g7, there's no rook c7. Queen e7, king h6, and how do you continue? Queen f8, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? This thing's complicated, man. There's a little bit of work to be done here. Okay, so all right, so DM Hokey just sent me a thingamabobber here. Let's see here. Let's see, we're gonna try this. Hold on. We're just gonna, I know everything got messed up. We're gonna try to do DM Hokey's business here. So here, I've been begging him for more space. Cancel. Because we need to go grad show. We need to do it here. Let's see if it works. Whack. Okay, what has happened here? He's given me, no, this is, I don't know what you did. I don't know. Wait a second. There we go. I just had to move it over. And then why is this so funky? Because it's not expanded enough. Okay, so we're going to actually, what we need to do is we need to test it when we go back over here. So first of all, that looks good. That looks good, DM Hokie. And then we have to see what it looks like when we click on the next person. The next person is Niall. I don't know. Neil. Let's call him Neil. All right. Now, actually, one of the things I say is there's 30-some people in the graduation today, but they're mostly tomorrow. So actually, it looks like this is the last one for today. Let's go open. And now we're going to check how it looks. Now, let's just see here. I guess if I move it, I don't know if that's going to ruin it for the other format, but that's kind of where we want it to be right there. Okay, so boop, boop. So Neil has graduated numerous times. He's not marking stuff on the heat map. Based in the UK, hasn't done any tests, and so activity, kind of weird, dude. So he's got activity. Oh, I get it, but he's not logging the time. So check it out. So here's where I can use dojo points. You guys and I can see it. So let me just stress, this is kind of a little moment that I'm having here. So when somebody doesn't mark their time, I can still see when they worked by the dojo points. And what's actually a little odd about Neil here is what we really saw in the dojo, we saw a lot of players just take the summer off. And here, Neil was summer on, and now recently, a little bit more recently, did this part off. So, there we go, ratings. That's looking pretty good. All right, let's see if we got some games here. We do. Boom, I think this will be our last game. This is a pretty mellow show. Tomorrow will not be mellow because we got so many people. But let's start here and, oh my gosh. Well, I got to first show the time graph, my friends. There it is. There it is. So, as is typical, we hopefully are going to win because our opponent isn't thinking. Now, I want to stress, just because they don't think doesn't mean we're necessarily going to win. It's just a monstrous advantage competitively. The other thing we want to say, though, is it isn't good for our chess when we play these chumps, right? Because they're not thinking, and so we're not even able to use... We're just using our time. We're not even able to think on their time. And of course, the quality of their thought isn't going to be deep. Even if they are, let's say, a tactical genius and can beat us at blitz chess or something. So, a couple things about that. I say it every week. It's eventually good to think about moving to OTB. But also, if you just play in the dojo, amongst other people in the dojo, what you're going to see is, as we saw in today's grad show, is the people in the dojo are far more likely to use their time. When you play some random chump online, it's going to look a little bit like this, right? Okay, so game review. Let's go check it out. D4. So far, beautiful chess. Fine. Fine. Beautiful. 95. So 95, a little controversial, of course, because he's moving a developed piece twice. And you talk about 95, bishop e5, bishop e7. What I want to stress here is whatever you do should involve a developing move. Okay, so let's say bishop d7, queen e7, something like that. Those should be your default moves. You can take two, fine. But after that, you need to develop. So the reason the d4 should strike you as wrong is because Krai's going to yell at you, Okay, for doing non-developing moves. Let's read what you say. My thinking was to continue to open up the position. Also, if he plays knight c6, I can play bc6, but this will leave him with 2 isolated pawns. Okay, now, the next point. When you don't develop your stuff, generally that's when tactical badness, tactical terribleness is going to happen to you. So in this position, pop, pop, knight b3, and we're going to lose a pawn, for example. Bishop b6, takes, and you cannot take back because of this little known trick. Ouch. Check to the miserable king. Okay. Now, the thing I want you to see is that might seem kind of complicated, but A, you could see that. More importantly, though, just to say to yourself, oh, when my opponent doesn't develop their stuff, or when I don't develop my stuff, that's the kind of punishment that we should be looking for. So, rook e1, snip, snap, snook, snick, queen d4. Thought it would be a good idea to get my queen active. Okay, you are helping him get his knight active, but let's see what he does. c3. Trying to be a trade machine. Good. Now knight e4 is probably what he should do. Okay. Knight takes, ooh. Ooh. So now white is definitely better here, and we're in a little bit of trouble. So, rook e2, back, and now he can win a pawn. Okay, so now we are worse, but we do have the open file. Also, I want you to see it's a big deal that his queen is more active than your queen. Okay. Something else maybe I'd like to stress is that it is important to recognize that even though you're down a pawn, there's still the dynamic, a big one, of you having the king side plate. So the king side is yours. That's where you have this extra pawn. And white, of course, wants to get juice flowing on the queen side. I love that you're intending rook d2 and that you played it next move. Great. Both players also owe a Luft move, some kind of pawn move to give their king a little breathing air. Okay. Queen a4 seems reasonable, but it seems like he's not aware that this rook d2 thing is going to happen to him. So good move. Lets your queen in. Not what he would like. So the last two moves have gone well for you. Passive. Rook d8. He sees it. And now you go queen d7. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So we definitely, though, understand where this is coming from. Namely, you're worried about the pawn hanging on a7. Let's read what you write. Stupid idea giving him the chance to trade queen when he's up a pawn. Should have just played g6 to avoid back row make. Good. And one thing I want you to see is on g6, you got other moves too, but g6 looks fine. Let's confront your fear. Queen a2. Now we play queen c2. And he will give us a pieshka here. And we are the ones still in control of the business. So we have reasonable counter chances despite the fact that we're down a pawn. Also, when you give yourself a question mark, tell us what you think you should have done. Well, actually, excuse me, you did. You said move g6, and I just gave that variation. Okay. Now, let's see how well white plays this. He still has to be a little clever here, there's no doubt, because you still have rook d2 coming. I have an evil plan for him. Let's see what he does. Good. Rook d5. Uh-oh, that's no good. My idea is to get my rook active, then bring my king into action, but I'm down a pawn, and my calculation is so poor that I'm running out of time. It's game over, really. The rest of the game isn't interesting. Now, first of all, I'm going to doubt that, because your opponent is not an endgame genius. Okay? One of the things, actually, I'm trying to get in this little YouTube series I'm starting, where I'm talking about the endgame sparring positions, is to get people to realize how deep these things can be, not just from me saying it, but by playing it. You'd be like, oh, like let's say you are white in this position and somebody plays rook d5. Are you going to win it every time? I don't know. Not so easy. Now, the other thing we want to say is, I think the big question was, what does white do when you put the rook on the 7th? So this, whether it's white can do something here or not, this is the move to consider. And the only problem with this that I can find, if your rook stays there, by the way, you have full play. But white can be clever and threaten mate. I don't know, let's play your g6 now. And then rook d2, and then he is truly holding it all together. Right? All right, let's see if it's true that he gave you nothing. King e2, f5. Okay. f4, a little weird. King f7. Good. King f6. Good. Weird. g4. Now, what's the problem with white playing g4? One of the things I really wanted to stress is that you are playing on the king side. So even though he's up a pawn, you're the one who has the juice on the king side. So this game is not over. He is playing on the wrong side of the board. What does he need to be doing? Consolidating his position on the queen side, playing moves like c4. He's got to start pushing the juice. Pushing the juice. All right, you played g5, and at least you did think about it for a minute 30. I want to point out, I'm not going to show it again, but very soon, basically now, when I look at the time graph, you stopped thinking. So the same thing that you're saying here, that it's over, you're putting out there during your game. You're just like, well, I guess it's over now. Okay, g5 is interesting. Let's think about it for a second. What should we play? I think, for example, it would be interesting to play pawn takes h5. And we're still worse, but we're getting some stuff going. Let's give your move a try too, though, because I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to get your king active. Makes sense. Takes, and now you got a pass pawn. Good. King f3, and now f4 we don't like. All right. The problem with f4 is that it's important to see that the white king is a beautiful blockader here. And in the rook endgame, the king wants to be in front of the pawn. So the white king truly has a great situation here. And pushing the pawn just gives the king more juice because that king wants contact with that beautiful pawn. Let me read what the clock goblin said. Bye, Falgren. Thank you. We're here. There was a great king pawn endgame in this under 1600 Friday night fights this weekend with a wild misdraw opportunity that I posted to the general chat and got 3 replies saying, "Why did you share this? That's just lost." Endgames are always cooler and deeper than you seem. That's right. All right, check. Good. Okay, now we're in trouble. Rook e4, and now your opponent makes an inaccuracy. They should play rook h5 check and separate you from your coconut. Good. King f e4. Let him swap rooks. Duh. Now, imagine we played here. Are we technically lost? We are. But look, white is now going to have to think. So you see what I'm saying? It's not over. King e2, we go back, threatening rook g2, threatening to take this coconut. Maybe we're technically lost, but it ain't easy. And let me tell you, I've played a lot of strong GMs, and they don't go down. They don't just lay down their arms, my friend. They don't just lay down their arms. Okay, king e4. And then there it is, the classic blockade position. And now it would have been possible for you to resign. Okay, my friends, that is it. Let's just go back briefly here to this bad boy and take a look at what awaits us tomorrow. We have a big show tomorrow. The prudent thing for me to do would be to start going over some of these, but I have a feeling they would feel, geez, Melise, you're trying to kill me, dude? Trying to kill me? But tomorrow, some of them might join the chat and so on. So I guess I will just be ready to die tomorrow. Be ready to die, Bows. Ready to die. Okay. The other thing I want to share is I wanted to share this vid. Apparently, I can't get the vid to... No, why didn't it work last time? That's what I wanted to know. Pop. Desktop audio. Why didn't it work? Why did it? I kind of want to look at the vid, Bows. I want to look at the vid. All right, hold on. So we have these vids, and I'm just starting to put them out. I don't know how successful they will be. We have a great team, really one dude, but a team, who do our YouTube videos. Let's wait till the nasty commercial ends. And I want to learn anyway. The other thing I want to learn is, why can't I get good sound on a YouTube video? If somebody knows what the deal of Ovich with that is, that would be much appreciated. Let me first see. So there's our little business. Why is sound horrible when I play this like this, Why does it go bad? Does anyone have sitting? And for the Boomer GM, people were wondering, why do they call me Boomer GM? Because I didn't grow up with this, dude. I don't know how you fix, the sound. All right, let's just try. And then I'm going to be trying to fix the sound whilst this is going on. All right. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's right. All right, here we go. You tell me about the sound.
This is Dojo Endgame Sparring, position number 13. And usually this is for more advanced players around 17, 18, 1900. Okay. And I just want to say a couple words about the dynamics in this position. This is Botvinnik Alekhine, a very famous game from 1938. Botvinnik won this game. But for the sparring, there's a couple very important things to see about the position that will help you a lot if you understand them. It will help you for other kinds of positions. So I think the best way to think about this position is a dance of three pieces, right? Each side has a king, a knight, and a rook. And the job is to think about the quality of those pieces. Now, Black's last move was f6. Makes sense. He needs to dominate the knight to prevent the knight from coming in. So one of the first things that White has to understand is, my knight needs to get fixed. Then we can also say, the king needs to get fixed. Okay, so White really has two poor pieces. Now, even though White has two poor pieces, you could argue that White is winning. And the reason for that is that this rook is crushing all three of Black's pieces. It's preventing the king from coming out. It's much more active than this rook, preventing it from, for example, from going to c8. And simply prohibiting this knight's movement away from its dungeon, right? So, a couple things to say. First, this is a classic example of a rook on the 7th rank and its power, right? That's one of the reasons we have it as a training position. doing the training should enable you to say, oh, if I get a rook there, I'm in a really good shape. The next thing, though, to really understand is a lot of players here will fudge about even our IMs. When I gave them this position, they wanted to fudge with the rook and stuff. And winning a pawn or something with a rook ain't it. What it's about is you have to fix your bad pieces. And that's then the challenge for white. Black can give good resistance in this position. Okay. Kraai is going to remember to turn this back on. And then there's one final thing that I need to do, my good friends, and that is I got to log my own business here. Let's go profile. Boom. We'll see how this looks. Exactly, DM Hokie. Exactly. Okay. So I am going to go training plan. And then we're going to go annotate. And this morning I did about 2.5 hours. And I go update. And there's my, we'll refresh. We'll see my little heat map. I took a couple days off, but otherwise looking pretty good. We'll take a look at the activity. So this is all cohorts. And let's just say, what is this cohort? Yeah, there we go. Now, one cool thing is I actually have a chance. Let's talk ratings, yeah. So I'm going to play a tournament weekend after next. And winning 12 FIDE points in the tournament, pretty hard, but in any case, possible. I'm only going to be playing 4 games, but that will be, now I got this little rating jump from the U.S. senior, and so it would be super cool if I myself could graduate. Have I been working hard? Yes. Am I really old? Yeah. It would be really cool if I could graduate into the next cohort. All right, my friends, I'm going to get out of here.